Hello everybody, this is Lawrence Fleming. I'm getting ready to take a short little hike. Every one of the parks around here have something along this line, a kiosk of everything, including a map and things to do, like you can rent boats and go out on the river, the Chattahoochee River. So I'm going to take this, and the path looks a little like a house, but eventually it'll drop down to just being dirt. Some of the parks have a little walking trail made up of that chipped tires. I don't know if you've ever seen those. It's soft to walk on. You can even, I think, take a wheelchair on it. See now, we got a trailhead, two trails, a wild turkey. We can go up to the trailhead one that way, and then wild turkey going to the left, trailhead 2. But there's some waterfalls down here, little ones. I've been here before. Because it's a park, they have little areas where they cut in power. See the clouds up there? I have an appointment with the dentist tomorrow morning, so I will get my tooth fixed, Lord willing. Inexpensively, Lord willing. He's the one that has to take care of that. I've been watching all the stuff going on around us, and I felt the need for a hike, so I'm doing that. Get out away from what's going on in the world. Everybody needs to do that. You can't focus on the things that are going wrong in the world. They're not caused by normal people. These aren't normal times. These are end times, and we know the results. Every time you hike a trail, figure out what color it is. They either paint the tree, or they may put, oh, that's still paint. Sometimes they use little metal placards that they put up that's painted the same color. I think I've filmed this once before, so if it's redundant, I'm sorry. The loblolly pine. I'm finding that I'm having to over-enunciate because of my missing tooth in the front. My tongue wants to fit through it. I'll be like some of these actors that have that big gap in their teeth. How do they talk like that? But this is a real easy little hike down to this creek. You can see it right down there below me now. Nice, peaceful noise. I can't say it's completely quiet because you can hear road noise if the cars go by, but we're in pretty good shape here. If you have to do survival, and I think I talked about it the last time I was here, you definitely want to drink water that's aerating. See how that's getting all that white foam down below? It's getting oxygen in there. That oxygenation helps to purify it. We're talking about emergency situations where you need water. If there's a stagnant pool and there's not any water movement, you don't want to drink out of it directly. I would still treat this if you could. See, it continues to drop down. There's a couple of more plaques I'll pull over here for. State parks and federal parks try to help out. If you're not familiar with what you're seeing, they try to put up signs. And that one's a white elm. The east coast of the United States is going to have a lot of these lazy little creeks. There's not a lot of mountains here, not like out west. And the white dogwood. The flowers on the dogwood are very colorful and pretty. You got to be in season to see those. I had a deer this morning. I come outside of my tent and there's a deer on the trail just to the left of me. I got a little bit of footage. I might throw it out. Let's see. Black cherry. Now theoretically, one of these three trees is the black cherry, and I'm not really sure which one. And they have the red buckeye. Okay, that's enough of nature. All right, I'm going to continue on this path a little bit. When I first put my shirts on in the morning, they're nice and crisp, they're clean, I'm clean. It doesn't take too long in this humidity to really eat it up. If I keep the camera high, you can't see my missing tooth. Pray for me that the dentist will, well, by the time you see this, I'll already be done. I pray that he will be able to fix my tooth. Looks funny without it. And again, I don't want to have it visible in all my videos. It's not attractive. Not that I'm vain, but every place I go and I smile, they go, "Oh, what happened? Did you get your tooth knocked out?" No, I didn't get my tooth knocked out. I was eating a piece of pizza, and it was hot and it was soft. There was nothing crunchy or hard about it. It just, tooth fell out. No, I didn't get into a fight, so I have to do all this explanation, and there's no need. All right. Another tree, this one's an American beech. That's a big tree that fell over. Let's see. Here we go. We had about a 12-inch tree fall down in our campsite, but not, into a campsite, but it was embedded within it, and it fell just outside. That would have scared anybody who was close to it. And we have the American sweet gum. So what I've basically done is I've read the names of all the trees that we're pretty much indigenous here in the South. They make these little wooden bridges so you can get across. When I look down in the water, I don't see any fish. When I lived in Nevada, I would find these little streams out in the middle of nowhere. And if there was a hole this big, you could get yourself a 2 or 3 pound trout out of it. But not this water. Kind of a brackish looking. All right, I'm going to go look for a place where I can sit down and read. I should be finishing up, I think, this video or the next one at the latest in studying what Jesus had to say to all the people that followed him around. He's got good advice. And for the most part, he's telling it like it is. Sometimes he doesn't want them to know, and you teach them a parable so that only those that really want to know will find out. But okay, I'm going to head back up, and I have a nice shade tree up there where I'm going to read some more from Jesus. We should be able to see him soon. Still can't give you a day, but in looking at the world, it doesn't have a lot of life left in it. Certainly not a lot of spiritual life. As I've been studying the book of Revelation, I'm surprised at how many different variations people have for it. So be open and be forgiving, because it's prophetic and not everybody knows how to interpret it. The gospel is the most important part of any lesson. All this prophecy is sort of nice to know, but we're not going to be around for most of it. What we mainly need to do is to use it to warn people. If you're sitting on the fence, get off. You don't have time. All right, let me wrap up here. Well, I'm going to insert this little bit of video before I get to my Bible study. I got my tooth fixed, and I'm back scoping out a new campsite. It's right along the river. You can camp right in any of these spots around here. It's pretty cool. So I'll probably be coming back here on the 8th. All right, time to get to the Bible study. We'll be in Revelation again. Hello, everyone. Let's go ahead and get into our Bible study. But to start things off, got my tooth fixed. The glue just broke, so I just glued it back on. Didn't take long. It took longer to get there and get back. You know how it is, dentists and auto mechanics. You drive a long ways to go to them because you trust them. His office is where I used to live, not where I live now. Anyhow, I wanted to finish up on the book of Revelations on a high note. We won't be down here, but we're going to get to watch from heaven. Some things happen that are going to be good. I'm going to start off on a little bit of a low note, just to recap. And then we're going to get into this and see what happens. I'm going to read a little bit of the commentary, and then I'm going to go to Revelation 17. Okay, so far Revelations has expressed God's judgment in terms of 7 seals and 7 trumpets. Beginning in chapter 15, a more deadly and severe judgment occurs as 7 bowls of wrath are poured out on the world and that has rejected the Messiah. The 7 bowls are as follows, and I'm just going to go down through them. I'm just going to read you the bowl They start in 16:2 and go to 17:20, I guess. Yep. Okay, so the first bowl is bodily sores on the unbelievers. We've seen these before. God doesn't have to change what he does. They were very effective before, they're effective now. The second bowl, the sea turns to blood. Again, a repeat. The third bowl, the fresh waters turn to blood. The fourth bowl, people are scorched by the sun. Are we talking solar flares? A hole in the atmosphere that blocks the sun? I don't know. The fifth bowl, darkness and pain cover the people. The sixth bowl, the Euphrates River dries up. And the seventh bowl, the earth is shaken. Okay, well, let's move over to 17. What we're suffering right now is the harlot. She's been here, well, I won't say from the beginning, but she's been here since Babylon. Remember, God confused their language, so they babbled, and they were scattered. They tried building a tower to God because they thought they were equal. Okay, so he scattered them abroad. Now, they're still doing their dirty work, but they're doing it from undercover, controlling kings and presidents and everybody else on the earth. And that's what's happening now. That's what's going wrong, and that's why you can't stop it. God has put his limitations on what they can do, but he's basically given them free rein to start taking over. And the beast is going to come out eventually, and we're going to see that in a second. When he's here, he's going to tolerate it up to a point. Up to a point. Okay, so let's go to Revelation 17. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked to me, saying, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters." That basically just means that she's in a number of countries. You know, when we say, well, it's the United States, that's not enough. Part of it, yes, but that's not all of it. We talk about she's on 7 mountains, which we see. Again, that's not 7 mountains inside of a city. There will be a Babylon someplace that talks about it. But what is the Babylon that it talks about? There's no big tower in what used to be Babylon. The closest in that area might be Dubai. And obviously there's a lot of money involved in it. They're controlling the wealth of the world, and they're keeping it to themselves. They just want the workers out there, just worker bees. Just, you know, a worker bee, I think, lives for 45 days, making a small jar of honey, and then he dies. But there's plenty of them out there. Okay, come on, I'll show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. Here's our beast. She's sitting on him. This is going to be the Antichrist, and she's sitting on him, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads are the 7 kings. We're going to get to that in a bit. I'll get ahead of myself. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of the abominations and the filth of her fornication. and on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. Must be a sight to see. But the angel said to me, Why did you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carries her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that you saw was, is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is for the worst of the worst. The Polyon will come out of the bottomless pit. The beast is killed and comes back to life. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life. Not written. We won't be here. We'd see right through all this, and we pointed out and exposed to the world what's going on. And the beast that was, from the foundation of the world, when the beast that was not and is. Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. 7 mountains representing 7 kingdoms, or cities, territories. There are also 7 kings. 5 fallen, 1 is, and the other is yet to come. The one yet to come is the Antichrist. And the beast that was, and is not, and is himself also the 8th, and is the 7th. So he was the 7th king. He's going to be killed, and he's going to come back as the 8th. And is going to perdition. The 10 horns which you saw are the 10 kings who have received no kingdom as of yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords, King of kings. And those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. That would be us. And then he said, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits are the peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, the world. And the 10 horns that you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh and burn her with fire. I guess they really don't like her. For God has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. I'm just going to read a little bit here. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven. I'm in 18 now. Having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great has fallen, is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean, hated bird. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. I ate some chips earlier, and they must have wheat in them. I end up with an allergy. I have an allergy to wheat. I don't get sick, but it's like massive hay fever. Okay, and they drank the wine of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I had another voice in heaven saying, Come out of here, my people, lest you share in her sins, lest you receive her plagues, for his sins have reached heaven. Something dropped. I think it's a squirrel. Anyhow, Squirrel. So anyhow, God is getting ready to destroy Babylon, and the world that is making money from her, not the poor people, not the people that are, we're getting two classes of people out of this, rich and poor. The poor people are the serfs. They're the pawns on the chessboard. They're there for one purpose, to advance the kingdom and to sacrifice themselves for the kingdom. That's all they're there for. Now, we've already had a lot of people die, so they're not managing as many people now. So they maybe figure they're getting close to where they need to be, but just when they're about to get ready where they're going to win, God allows the beast to kill them. All these heads of state that are part of the harlot. The harlot is a spiritual organization that uses people. That's why we can't fight it. It's a spiritual organization that only the spirits in us can fight. Now, our Holy Spirit in us could easily beat the harlot. All of them, all put together, easily. Single-handed with a hand tied behind the back, blindfolded. The harlot's not strong compared to the universe that God's created, but it's strong on this earth because it gets its power from Satan. All right, well, I'm going to go drink some more. I thought the lemonade would help the citrus, but I'm still, my mouth is still like I got into a bunch of grass seeds or pollen in the springtime. All right. Things are going to start getting crazy in the next month or two. Does that mean the rapture? Don't know. Crazy doesn't mean that we're not able to stay with it. Crazy means that the world's going to continue taking steps towards the cliff. Before it falls over the cliff, God will destroy the harlot. Before that happens, we'll be raptured. But at what point? There's a squirrel over there someplace. At some point, we'll get out of here. But again, that's why I'm telling you to do a basic level prep. Don't build a bomb shelter. Basic level. Have enough food for a month or two. Stuff you want to eat. As long as you have a choice, buy the stuff you want to eat. I have some of those big bins full of the survival food. I bought them years ago. They keep forever. But I opened one about 3 years ago, I guess, pre-COVID. I don't mean to say that word. Go for it. That's what I meant to say. At any point, I started eating some of it to see what it was like. And if I was hungry and starving, it would probably be okay. The MREs I had in the Navy were better tasting. So it depends on where you get them. The cases of camping food that I have taste better, and I could have the camping food during the week at home. It's good. It's dehydrated, you add water, and it's okay. But the other stuff that's designed to last forever, if we don't ever have to eat it, that's what it's going to do, is it's going to last forever, be burned up when the earth is destroyed, because nobody wants to eat it. Okay. Be safe. Pray for one another. Always pray for me in this ministry. I'm trying to keep my numbers up, which means I have to fight the platform. Try not to say words here. And in doing so, sometimes I might have to do clickbait, and I apologize for that. I've got to get people to come in. Those of you that are loyal to stay with me, I don't have to worry about that. You're good, you have good comments, but I got to reach the rest of the world. So sometimes I'll have to say things like, "Are you ready for the rapture today?" as a title. Well, you know me, I'm never going to predict the date, because we don't know. I don't know what's on Satan's mind. He's controlling it. But if I use that as a title, don't get alarmed. I'm trying to attract other people. I always put, Rapture and Jesus and tribulation and maybe even the Antichrist in my hashtags, in my filters. Some of them help, some of them don't. Some of them might make it worse. I don't know. I tried using a couple of apps, but I think they've been infiltrated, so they're not helping. Okay, until we meet in the clouds, God bless.